No one will believe me, I know, but I'm going to tell it anyway, because what I saw that day still follows me every time I close my eyes. It all happened 3 years ago, on a gray, rainy Thursday. It was such a strange day that it still leaves me with a feeling that it can't have been real. I was helping my aunt with preparations for a funeral at St. Alder's Church. I'll never forget that smell of old wood and candle wax. It seemed like half the town was there. Some were crying, others were whispering as if they didn't know what they were supposed to feel. The funeral was for a man named Daniel Rowe. He was 32, a quiet, keep-to-himself kind of guy. Worked at the library. I didn't know him personally, but everyone said the same thing about him. He was a good man. He kept to himself. He didn't deserve this. He had been reported missing 2 weeks earlier. Then the police found a body in the river wearing his jacket, with his ID in the wallet. The face was unrecognizable, but everything else matched. So the town began to mourn him. That morning I was arranging flowers near the altar. The rain was drumming against the stained glass windows, blurring everything. Around noon, people started arriving. In the center was a closed casket. It was like a dark anchor pulling down the weight of everyone's grief. Just then, the priest tapped me lightly on the shoulder. "Someone's standing outside," he whispered. "Would you mind asking if he needs help?" "Sure," I said, and headed towards the church entrance. That's when I saw him. A man, drenched in the rain, no umbrella even in his hand, water dripping from his hair. He wasn't even trying to get out of the rain, just staring at the church door as if it were locked with chains only he could see. He looked confused, as if he needed to wake from a dream. "Excuse me," I called out softly. "Are you here for the Rowe funeral?" He blinked hard, as if startled. "Yes," he said. "I think so." Something in his tone made my stomach clench. It wasn't grief, it was fear. Raw, trembling fear. Still, I stepped aside and let him in. He walked slowly, each step seeming heavier than the last. His eyes weren't wandering, they were locked straight ahead on the casket. That's when he saw the name on the memorial photo next to it and froze. Every muscle in his body went rigid. The whole church turned to look at him. Some stared in confusion, others with a faint look of recognition. A few people gasped quietly, hands over their mouths. I'm sure everyone was thinking the same thing I was. That man looks just like Daniel Rowe. The resemblance was striking. It wasn't just similar. It wasn't even like a family resemblance. He was the spitting image of the photo. The same jawline, the same eyes, the same scar above his eyebrow. The priest took a step towards him, the color drained from his face. "Can I help you, my son?" The man swallowed hard. "I'm sorry. I didn't know. I didn't know it was he muttered. His voice trembled and he doubled over as if punched in the stomach. "I didn't know this was my funeral." A murmur spread through the room. Someone whispered loudly, "This must be a joke. Daniel is dead." But the man shook his head violently. "No, no, I'm not dead. I'm not dead. I'm right here. His breath was sharp and fast, as if he was fighting to stay upright. "I woke up in the woods this morning," he said, his voice still shaking. "I don't remember anything after leaving the library 2 weeks ago. I just remember cold water and darkness and someone pulling me down." He staggered and held onto a pew. "Someone tried to drown me." The church fell completely silent. People started whispering. Some stepped back, others moved closer. I heard an old man mutter, "This isn't right. This isn't natural." But the priest raised his hand. "If this is some kind of misunderstanding—" "It's not!" the man shouted. "Look at me. I'm alive. Whoever is in that casket, it's not me." His voice cracked. Then, with horror dawning in his eyes, he looked at the casket. "Open it," he said. The priest shook his head. "No, my son. The condition—" "I said open it." The outburst echoed through the church like a clap of thunder. Two men, family friends, stepped forward reluctantly. They looked at each other, then at the priest, who finally gave a hesitant nod. One man unlatched the casket while the other held the lid. The room held its breath. When they lifted it, the whole church recoiled. The body inside was the exact likeness of the man standing before us. The exact likeness. The same face, the same beard, the same scar, everything the same. Like twins. The man looked down at the corpse, and the disbelief on his face twisted as if his mind couldn't decide which reality he belonged to. "That's not me," he whispered. "That's not me. That's not me." The priest muttered a prayer under his breath. Someone screamed. Someone fainted. The man staggered backward, shaking his head violently. "I'm alive," he said again. "I'm alive. So who the hell is that then?" But before anyone could do anything, he suddenly froze, completely still, his eyes widening as if he'd realized something we couldn't see. Then he looked up, straight at me, and whispered, "I think I died out there." Before anyone could question him, he burst out of the church, shoving past chairs and people as if the very air was choking him. "Daniel!" someone shouted. "Wait!" But he didn't stop. He ran out into the street, into the rain, and disappeared. No one went after him. No one wanted to. Because the second he left, something else became horribly clear. The body in the casket, that perfect copy of him, was changing. Its skin was growing pale, too pale. Its eyes were sinking. Its jaw was slackening, as if whatever force had been holding that shape together had just let go. Within minutes, it looked nothing like the man who had been standing among us. The police searched for the living Daniel Rowe for months. He was never found. Not a trace, not a camera sighting, nothing. Some think he ran away. Some think he never woke up at all, that what we saw was something else wearing his face. And some believe the truth is simpler. He really did walk into his own funeral. But whatever came out of the woods that day wasn't meant to stay.